All right, everybody, welcome back. Here we are, France again. Like April 2nd, 1464, so we're only 20 years into the game. I feel like there's been so many storylines already, but one of the big ones is going to be when we push England out of Europe proper in the next war. So, right now we are just trying to make a bunch of money, which I think we are successfully doing at the moment, which is good. By reducing the maintenance of our troops significantly, we do have some rebel uprisings that we are sort of keeping in mind here. In fact, actually, it's saying that the English uprisings are sort of coming into play. Non-accepted culture, the overextension, again, that does add to the nation's unrest. War exhaustion, that should be ticking down. That's also in the stability tab too. And this is a huge modifier for unrest as well. Let's unpause the game though, so the two things we need to do right now is we are 2 years away. We are exactly 2 years away from declaring war on England. Okay, one thing we need to do is, it's telling us here. I think we mentioned this, but we forgot to actually talk about, hey, look, quality of wool. Just get some extra money because we're dealing in wool. Apparently. Kind of nice. We do need to get this this is warning us here that we got a technology that we can do. No reason not to do this. Get a little bit of a ahead of time bonus here. Yes. Now it's actually saying that our neighbor's already done this. They're still getting a neighbor bonus on this, even though it's 2 years ahead of time. So we're way behind on diplomatic technology for whatever reason. Not a big deal because diplomatic technology, not the one that I personally worry too much about. Military is really important to make sure you're up to date on that. In fact, we'll have to see. We're getting 10 per month. So if we're 2 years away and we're still 2 years ahead, I don't know. We might not be able to get that the moment that it goes live. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. So what we're worried about right now is the rebellions. We want to keep control of the rebellions, and we need to like physically prepare for the war. We need to get our troops like organized the way that we want for the war with England. Uh-oh. So there's sickness here, influenza, and basically if we don't quarantine it, it'll sort of spread around. And my understanding is they've changed this a bit, but it spreads fast. It spreads fast, and that is some negative modifiers there. So I think we want to quarantine it to a specific province. Unfortunately, this costs administrative power. There's nothing we can do about that. It's going to cost the administrative power. We just have to do it. Because that's a really nasty event. One of these days, maybe we'll hit the other option to see what happens, but I've heard nothing but bad things about it. That's another thing that we're fighting against, is that we haven't embraced the Renaissance, so we're getting a technology penalty. Pretty heavy technology penalty. Okay, so it looks like we've gotten an heir. Nice. We have a queen. Local unrest. Wait, are we getting another cardinal? Oh, seat of strong aristocrats. Okay. We don't really need monthly or local missionary strength, so the fact that that's subtracting that there is not a big deal. The only unfortunate thing is this is increasing autonomy instead of decreasing. Again, we were just talking in the last episode about wanting to decrease autonomy, not increase. Oh no, a military leader has left us. Please tell me it's not John Bro. No, we still got him. Still got Jean Bro or whatever. It's great, because he's our siege leader. He's our killer guy. So now we've taken some more provinces. Okay. It looks like these are going to be done before a year. So basically in 1 year, these will be done, which is good. This one's going to take longer because it's farther away, I assume. Like, this one's not even technically going to be done until we already are at war with England. But I believe we could check on our force limit, right? We've taken more land. Our force limit might have gone up. It went up by 1. Yeah, well, it's better than nothing. Let's build another troop. Build another troop. This is tricky. This is tricky because England, who are you allied? Are you still allied with Portugal? You're allied with Brittany. Are you going to actually, like... Is Brittany going to actually honor the call there? Because... See what I'm saying? Like, the way that we're positioned... Yeah, this is... Brittany's in a bad spot. Brittany's in a really bad spot because their only fort is back here, so we can just stop in there and destroy them. The tricky thing is, for us, we're going to need a certain minimum amount of troops on England proper. Otherwise, we're going to lose this foothold, and we're going to be in trouble. We need to hold these provinces once we fight England. We didn't care so much when we were fighting Brittany, but now that we're going to be fighting England, we need to hold these provinces without question. Also, I wouldn't mind getting a claim on Calais there. But you know what? Yep, I'm sure everybody's getting buttered up. We'll keep working on it. But we need to actually get a military spy network going in both Brittany, because we'll be going to war with Brittany, it turns out, and in England. And they are also allied with... Let's bring back this diplomacy and start taking them around, you know, go on a tour with them. Let's kind of see... Let's see if... Is Castile even going to honor this? We might not be able to tell because there is technically a truce. Okay, so the answer to this is yes. They will honor this. In fact, everybody will honor this. Except for currently, Switzerland will not. Brittany will even honor the call, which is weird considering they're kind of... I would think that they're struggling right now. But this nation here, who is this? Oh, it's just an Irish nation over here. Okay. And it looks like England only has one vassal currently. So they are definitely raging war up here. In fact, are they at war? No, they're not. Some of the little Irish miners are at war, though. Scotland's at war with Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. Well, who are you fighting with? The Livonian Order? What the heck? That's not a good fight, Scotland. It's not a good look. Scotland's in trouble. Scotland's in trouble. It would be actually kind of decent if England declares on Scotland. Because there's no truce between the two. Declares that England pushes all of its troops up here and we could take the south. That could be a pretty opportunistic war there. Ferrara is thinking about allying us. That's right, we do have an additional alliance slot. Desires of the Flesh. I've never seen these kind of events before. We could try to keep it from the public eye, but acknowledge that it's going on. So aren't we using Pierre? We are using Pierre. So there's nothing good here. There's nothing good here. Local unrest where? Oh, wow, we could execute him. That wouldn't be good. The only thing that I'm remembering is that this area, the Ile-de-France or whatever, is this area here. Well, the unrest here is so stable here. This would actually be the least costly of all of them. If we're going to get rid of this guy, this would be the least costly. Like, we don't need to spend 90 ducats and we don't need to spend 10 prestige. I don't think we want to do this because Papal Authority event happens. I don't know. Is this going to affect our papal influence? Speaking of which, we should look at the papal influence. Let's do this here. He died. That's unfortunate, but it's just the way of things. And we can get this guy now, who's the inflation guy. We were already eyeballing this guy anyways. It just gives us an excuse to pick him up. So now we're going to be reducing our inflation, which is nice. 0.1% every year. So if he lives for 14 years, we'll be good to go. So let's look at the papacy. Because again, we haven't, we're noticing that we've been accumulating a lot of points down here because we are allied with the Pope. So this, you know, I was misspeaking in the first episode, but I think thematically, if you think of this guy as the Pope, it's just fine. This guy's the Curia controller. The Pope is whoever technically leads the papal state. It's always the Pope. So this guy is always, he's always Mr. Pope. The Pope, literally, named Pope. So here though, but the Pope basically elects a Curia controller. So when the Pope dies, when this guy dies here, Pope Pius II, when he dies, and he's 68 years old, he's going to basically elect someone based on these chances. So it looks like Papal State has the highest chance to be the Curia controller. In fact, Poland actually has a lot of cardinals, but we have a lot of papal influence, so we can actually spend some of this influence to boost our investment in this system and try to increase our chance to get it. And there's some really, really, really awesome benefits to doing this. Some really awesome benefits. The other thing we can spend this papal influence on is these buttons up here. Increase national tax modifier for a certain amount of time. Yearly legitimacy, we don't really need that. Diplomatic reputation, that's kind of cool. Yearly prestige. Increased stability for 100 papal influence, that's not horrible. In-game mercantilism. Can also increase manpower recovery rate. So we could choose to go for this seat, go for the Curia controller, or we could just ignore it and go for these buttons here. But honestly, I think it'd be more fun to try to be the Curia controller. And right now, I think we have 2 cardinals, but we have a ton of influence. So I believe just like getting a fabricating acclaim, the first one's going to be cheap. So we can just spend 5 papal influence, nice and cheap, get a 10% chance. Get 10 investment. But I believe if we go for this again, it's going to be 10. Yep, it's going to do it again, it's going to be 10. Now we have an 18% chance. Let's just hit this button. Let's just go. I mean, this isn't going to reset until there's a new Curia controller. Let's just hit these buttons. Hit it a couple more times. There you go. Boom. We have a 30% chance to get the Curia controller. It's not great, but it's higher than any other individual nation, including the Papal State. So let's just go for it. Let's go for it. Okay, so we have 8 transports. That's not great. Those have been raided from Morocco. Okay, the cores have been created in this area. So we can make Brittany into a state. I think we're probably actually going to want to do that. This is definitely going to be one of our primary territories at some point. So it's a territory until we make it a state. We've now making the decision because there's a limit. We can only have a limited amount of states. In fact, we're at the cap right now. We have 1 territory, we have 12 states. This is our cap for states. So we've made it a state, so we can hit that button there and finish the administrative work to make it a full state, not just a territory that's been cored. So now we're down to 47% autonomy, and it can go down to 0%. Now there's no restriction on it. We're just kind of keeping an eye here on the rebellion thing. There's a couple things that we could do here. Because these troops are at no morale, they're not reducing the unrest. But if we boosted up our morale, we could actually reduce the unrest enough to kind of like wiggle these rebellions away. As long as the troops are stacked up here. 5% is the lowest you can reduce it. That's if you have 20,000 troops on the province, so it's 0.2% per troop, or sorry, 0.25% per troop. So 20 would be the full 5%. So here we're looking and we're saying, well, technically we're at 5.6 unrest, so it wouldn't go away just because we raise army maintenance, so we don't have to worry about it. Wow, the Papal State is offering to share knowledge. This is incredible. Oh, do we have to pay them? A chance to catch up in technology progress via the means of sharing knowledge gives us a 1% growth towards the Renaissance in our capital area. 1%, that seems like nothing. Wait, we have to naturally, a monthly fee at 10% of our income will be paid? That's like, that's insane. That's actually an insane amount of money. But we're only getting 0.3% a month. It's pretty low. That's I don't know what people do here. That's an insane amount of money. Although we're making a lot of money. Let's do it. Screw it. let's do it. Now we're making a lot of money because we're not paying the troops, right? If we slide this back up, we're basically breaking even at this point. And we don't even have the forts active. So the amount of money we're making right now is deceptive because our forts are not active, we're not paying our troops. Let's split these off into more like thoughtful groupings of troops. Here's the funny thing. We might want to just go over the... Oh, we have... Because of those cores finished and the autonomy went down, we now have another room for another guy. So let's build another guy. I think we have 4 heavies. Yeah, we have 4 heavies. And I believe last time we checked England for the navies... England has 4 heavies, but they have 22 light ships. That is insane. We're never going to be able to just attack into their fleet. That's never going to happen. No. Building these heavy ships was actually kind of silly. The only way this is going to work is if we get Castile in there with their fleet. And then our fleet plus their fleet, maybe. Maybe. But we should build more light ships, at least. More light ships. I don't know if these are... the war's... Okay, the war's coming fast. The war is coming very, very, very fast. We have less than a year now. So how, now we're trying to think to ourselves, how many troops do we need on the mainland? And how many troops do we need on the foothold ready to go? Sort of realizing that we're going to only be able to take 8,000 across at a time. These are 9,000 stacks. Yeah. Let's start getting people across the way. Can't you move? Yeah, of course it's low morale. I've lowered the morale. I'm not sure why they can't move. Some of them can, but some of them can't. So let's raise the morale just a touch. Just a touch. Again, I'm not 100% sure what we're going to need up here. Let's double check England's military strength. $28,000 troops. We have 42,000 troops. We have more manpower. We're going to need at least 28,000 troops up here, I think. At least. Okay, so it's saying we have enough for a an idea. But we actually kind of need to get... the military technology more importantly, because this gives us military tactics and more combat width and more infantry damage. Yeah, this is going to be really, really good. The question is, yeah, we can get it in August. At this rate, we can get it August 1467. It'll be like a year after the war. We might just wait for that war to end. I don't know, or not wait for that to happen. We definitely cannot afford one of those guys at this point. No, there's no way we can afford one of these. Let's get a claim on Calais here. Doesn't really matter which one we get a claim on here. Let's just make sure we have one so that when we go to war with them, we have the option to take another piece of land if we want. Okay. So I think we have tons of claims against Aragon because Aragon is... Naples is Aragon, and we have all these claims down here. Burgundy, I think, is going to be good. Build the spy network for Burgundy. And... I think everybody's sufficiently buttered up. I'm just trying to think, who would be a good ally? Would be the funny thing is Denmark would probably be a decent ally if they weren't like if they didn't hate us. Scotland I don't think is going to be a good ally for a number of different reasons. Tunisia is in a war. Venice is looking pretty powerful. Venice is looking really good. Wow, they've taken some provinces here. Glad we didn't ally Milan. And they've taken provinces over here. Heck, they're even taking the fight to the Ottomans. Wow. Wow. So, although I don't think they're going to win that. That's the thing. They'll eventually lose that war. Bohemia would be a pretty strong ally, but the thing is, Bohemia, again, they're just so caught up. Brandenburg. Brandenburg taking a lot of land here, but they might be paying the price for that eventually, and I don't want to defend them if they are. We might just kind of hold on to that. I just kind of hold on to this, but you know what, let's make these people happy over here. Some of these people happy, maybe we can get them to break ties with Burgundy. That would actually be really good for us. The traders are, something's up with the traders here. That's actually pretty good. Pretty good for us. We had that disbalance, right? We had that disbalance here. Now we've equalized it. We're now gaining the manpower again. We've lost a little bit with favor with the traders, but we really don't care. Oh, okay. This snuck up on us fast. Wasn't thinking. Dang it, England knows too. Like, they don't know, but they do know. You know what I mean? They don't know, but they do know. And now that I think about it, we need to cancel military access here. Offer, ask. Okay, I guess we don't have military. That's right, it would have ended in the war. We actually have a lot of slots for alliances. I don't know, maybe we do go with Venice. Maybe we do go with Venice. Let's at least get relations getting improved over there. Venice would be good. We need at least 28,000 troops. We need to raise army morale and hope that we're still making money. Or not. The way that it goes. Diplomatic expenses. Ah, that's killing us. Let's look at Paris and see how it's progressing on the estates. Oh, it is getting a high amount per month though. That is helping us quite a bit. But I don't think it's going to help us in time. Our troops, like the French troops, are pretty strong, but I don't know. This is kind of sketchy. Let's check Brittany and see how many troops do we need to squash Brittany. Are we looking at navies? No, we're looking at... Oh, they only have 5,000 troops. I'm thinking if we can hold 10,000 here with 2 cav. They have no cavalry. Yeah, I think this is going to be enough. Let's get everybody else over here. We're raising our morale back up. What's the supply limit here? We can check that down here. 38, that's a high supply limit. It's farmlands. That makes a big difference there. We have a good leader. Or like a good military leader. We still have Jean Barrot, which is a very good tactical leader. Okay. So now let's just start, sending the diplomats out and seeing what's going on here. Castile doesn't, or Switzerland doesn't want to join this because they're saying distant war. Nice thing is, okay, England's integrated their vassal here, so they don't have that. Now we do need to double check their army size because of that, because I believe they absorb... no, they don't. Well, they do, but they might have disbanded them or something. Yeah, England's not very strong. This is actually not looking too bad. I believe they have one ally there, which is going to be an extra 6,000 troops. And I'm also kind of wondering, England, like, are your troops over here? Your troops over here, because they're not in London. They're not in London. And you have no forts over here. No, you have no forts over here. Again, using the fort map mode just to quickly see that, okay, London, of course. There, Northumbria. So, Castile will join, Papal State will join, which is good. I guess we just won't get Switzerland in here. Guess we just won't be able to get Switzerland in here. Unless there's a diplomatic guy here just waiting for us. There is one here. This guy would allow us to get Switzerland into the war, I believe. But I don't want to pay that price. That's too expensive. That's way too expensive. Just for like one side ally to get over here. Okay, we get one per month. So next month, we can declare war next month. Be ready to go here. We got 4,000 more troops than them. We are ready to invade Brittany over here. We probably want to come over here, though, and grab just... I don't know. It's tricky because we really want that military power for this as well. That's a balancing act right now. It's really a balancing act. We want to try to roll for a better leader. What we could do is, what does our heir look like? He's age 2. This is kind of tricky here because we could make King Louis into a general, and we could sort of put him in harm's way, which is not great because he's actually a stronger leader, slightly stronger leader than here. This is looking tricky. Checking on our progress here for the institution. We're nowhere near this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And we're gonna be losing money this war. That is just the facts. What we need to do is we need to get our troops down here, though. Because there's going to be rebels down here, and we need to try to hope this garrison gets going. Hope we get a garrison going in here. Get our ships grouped up. What influence is going up? We need to get these troops here before the rebellion kicks in. This is just an event here. Our fleet's not strong, but it's looking okay. We got 4 heavies. That's a big deal. Although I'm wishing we didn't have them right now just because they're so expensive. It'd be nice if England just went to war with like one of these little nations over here or something. I don't know. No, I guess it's better than... Here's the other thing to consider. We now have a 50% chance for this uprising over here. Well, it's not a 50% chance it'll happen. I mean, it's like it's at 50% tick rate because I think we did talk about this. But the but this is going to be ticking up 10. It's 50% chance to increase the chance of it uprising by 10%. No, sorry. My bad. We did explain this before. 16% chance to increase by 10% up here. Every month it rolls the dice on this 16% chance. If it hits it, then this number grows by 10%. So it does give us an estimation, you know, using statistics or what. It does all the computations for you. It says about 3 years, it's expecting that to happen. But the thing is, technically our unrest is actually trending downward slowly, very slowly. We could actually just raise the autonomy here, as unfortunate as that is. You know what, let's look at this province as a strategic province, because if we raise the autonomy, this is what we've never thought of before, but this instantly lowers the unrest by 10. This will put it down to 6, and that'll really delay the ability for this province to rebel, like by many, many years, right? Like it'll go from like 6 years to like 7 or 8 years until it'll rebel. Problem is it raises the autonomy to lower the unrest. It raises the autonomy by 25%, which means this province will be at 100% autonomy. So we are getting nothing from this province right now, except for the fact that it is technically owned by us. It is a strategic position, but we're not getting anything in terms of trade, of tax, or manpower. We're getting nothing from that province, but at least we will not have to worry about that for 7 years now. That's good. That's good. Of course, eventually it does tick down, but so let's go back to Brittany here. Kind of worried they're going to be building. Oh, they're not building up. Good, 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 good. Why did you ally Brittany? When did that even happen? The reconquest. So there's 2 things that need to happen here. This is going to be tricky. This is going to be very, very tricky. And we just lost our morale guy. That is fantastic. We just lost our morale guy. Let's get the force limit modifier guy. So he's going to allow us to build 4 more troops without penalty. Because what we need to do actually is we're going to actually need to siege. We're going to need to siege carpet siege these areas as well. Well, let's just kick the speed up. We are going to be declaring war with England very soon. Very soon. These are all built. I think what we do is we send 2 of them here. And, well, let's send these guys here and let's leave this guy here. This guy will start sieging these areas just slowly but surely. Of course, there's a fort down here and a fort down here. So once Brittany's kind of like nullified, then we'll start sieging these provinces slowly. Hopefully we'll have Castile in here helping us as well. Although we kind of want Castile to go down here and take care of Portugal. Okay. Let's let these troops get into position. Let's double check England one more time because I'm really kind of paranoid about this here. We can invest in a technology. Which one is it? We can get military technology. Get military technology. This is incredible. So I believe we are ahead now of England on military technology. Yes, they're at 4. We're at military tech 6. And this all has to do with the fact that England's heir or ruler is a 000. They struggle at the beginning of the game. This is historical ruler at the beginning of the game. Sort of balances them out, right? Because England starts with all this extra land, but it kind of balances them out. They have a very terrible ruler. Holy cow. So let's hit the button here. Let's go here. Diplomacy. Declare war. We are ready for this war. We are ready for this war. We got our troops spread the way we want. It'd be nice if we had another 10,000 troops, admittedly. We're losing a little bit of money, but we're almost breaking even. We're almost breaking even, which is pretty incredible considering we have all of our forts on. We have a large army. We have a pretty decent navy too. Yeah, this is tight. This is tight, but we do have enough money to win the war, no doubt about it. Let's go to England's diplomacy screen. Now, this is why we didn't take any of this land in the last war. Reconquest. Casus belli for reconquest. Okay. This is saying it's going to be 25% aggressive expansion. So remember how we got about 40 to 50 aggressive expansion in that last war? This is going to be a fraction of that. Just like it's going to be minuscule. No one's going to care. In fact, people are going to be cheering for us to take this land back. They're going to be cheering for us to take this land back. So let's click on this province here again, strategically a province that we'll be able to take very easily. We are going to be calling in Castile and the Papal State. And we're just going to be crossing our fingers here. It would be nice if we could get... Oh, wow. We're so close. We're so close with Switzerland, but fortunately, we might be able to call them in later into the war. We'll have to see. But for now, it's going to be, this is the war here. So let's hit confirm. Reconquest war. So we'll get all these provinces on the cheap. So we're probably not going to take anything elsewhere. We'll just have to see how it goes, just like always, you know, ebb and flow. But let's declare this war. This is a big war here. And we are now in the driver's seat. So we know... So let's reduce the speed down to like speed 3 so we can sort of process this. Okay. Let's not even think about this yet. Let's just leave this paused. We've started the war. Nothing has happened yet. We are going to send these troops to smash Brittany's troops. They have 5,000 troops sitting here or here. They're in one of these two areas. We don't know where the English troops are, but they're not in London. We're going to start sieging London. Hopefully we'll get their troops to come out of the woodwork. And we are going to use these little troops here to sort of clean up, carpet siege this area a bit. Eventually we'll have to use these troops to siege down these forts. Hopefully Castile can take care of Portugal. And hopefully the Papal State can just help us siege in these areas and maybe even go up and siege Calais for us. Alright, so this is going to be a pretty intense war, but thank you so much everybody for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks, guys.